this session we'll be taking a look at the state of our polity. You know, as a Akwa people will join the rest of the other 20-something states that will be going to the ballot on Saturday. Let's take a look at how far we have gone in terms of preparations, in terms of the election process and all what have you. And this time around we'll be taking a look at it from the perspective of some diasporans. Let me allow you to meet them. Just by my side I have Dr. Itanwan James. She has so many caps for herself. She is a treasurer, Diaspora Directorate for Moino. She is still the treasurer, Team Moino Diaspora, and several other kitties to her. Thank you so much for joining us on Centerpoint AM45 this morning.
Thank you for having me here.
All right. And just beside her, we also have someone who is the contact and mobilization coordinator of Team Umoino. That's where I'm talking about Engineer Emmanuel Ubom. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. I believe as at February 25th, you were in the state. You were here in Akwa State.
Yes.
To go to the ballot.
Yes.
All right. Talk to us about. Okay, let me ask this first. When was the last time you were here for the ballot?
I was here 2015, 2019.
Okay, 2015, 2019. What about you?
I've been here for every election since 1999.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I even contested to go to the House of Assembly in 2007.
2007.
For Ibesipo Sultan constituency.
Okay. I'll come back to ask you some questions pertaining to that. You know, the motivation, what drove you to aspire for that office and all of that. But let me find out your experiences in the February 25 election. Let me begin with you. Were there any difference compared to that of other years?
There was significant differences. That means that we are improving, and I'm giving this country 2 more election cycles. We're going to be performing like it is done in the civilized countries.
Okay. How would you describe the units where you were?
The units where I was, which is Ward 4, Ibesikbo Asutan, and the Korobio from Ward, we did not experience any difficulty in terms of INEC technicality. No. In terms of behavior of voters, it was well organized, because in this election cycle people were more conscious of the fact that their vote will count, so they did not have to rush, they did not have to snatch ballot boxes or do anything that would have cause any detriment to the progress of this election.
Okay. For you, Dr. James, what was your experiences?
Yes, very significant too. There is improvement, because in the past we had, for my locality, we used to have 2 polling units, but it's been increased to 5 polling units.
Where is that?
That's Afari Besibo.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Ward 1, Afari Besibo, and my polling unit was polling unit 35. Okay. So we now have 5 polling units in that locality. So you see, even the market women, the youths, everyone came out, because they now understand that their votes will count. So there was influx of voters this time, and at that particular polling unit, we were there for some hours before the INEC officials or the electoral officer came in with the materials. But we were well organized. There was no incident, there was no rowdiness, there was no fighting, so it was well organized.
Okay. From my interactions with you, I've observed that you love coming home whenever it's time for the ballot. Now, what's the inspiration for that?
Yes, for me, I am somebody that I know that I should have a voice and that my vote counts. And so it doesn't matter if I have to spend thousands of dollars to be here, because I am very patriotic. I want to be involved in what is going on in my state, in my village, in my locality, in Nigeria, because I'm from here. So that is the spirit of patriotism that always brings me back to Nigeria whenever there is time for election and even campaigning. Because I like to be actively involved. Yes.
Okay. Now for you, you've been voting, you've been coming home to vote, even participated in the elections since 1999. What's the driving force?
The driving force is that I have been in United States for so many years, more especially my adult life has been spent over there. We have seen development. We have seen good government. We have seen how things have done properly. So why won't I make an effort to transfer, or let me not even use the word transfer, come back home and do the same thing? If so many of us in the United States, in particular, in Europe and maybe other civilized countries, will come back home and then we practice what we say overseas, we believe that we can turn the country around. It will be in the right direction. We would be having developmental strides in exponential order. It will be very fast that we will develop so fast, because this development, we don't have to create something out of the thin air. It's a question of copying what has been done by the advanced country. So what prevents us from doing that? And without us coming back to participate in this thing, it will never change. So that is the motive behind it. I am satisfied the way I am, but then there are so many people, the masses, who are suffering in the country. So we need to come back home and help.
Now, I know for sure that I've asked Dr. Itanwan James this particular question I'm going to ask you now. I'll still sample our opinion today on the matter. What do you think about diasporans, having the capacity, the ability to vote wherever they are? That's Nigerians in diaspora. What's your perception on that?
We have been fighting for that. It's only that sometimes things are difficult to get down here, but we are going to insist and keep on fighting on it until we have the right to vote, even when we are abroad. Because most civilized country, once you are from that country, you can vote anywhere you are in the world. And now this very election cycle, so many from the diaspora have come home to take part, more than before. More especially in Akwa Ibom State, when we have a candidate that we are backing, that we believe he has the ability to perform and improve on this developmental stride that we've been yearning for.
All right, back to Dr. James. Now, you've talked severally about, you've clamored for it, the need for diasporans to vote wherever they are. That's Nigerians in diaspora. Now, what are your reasons?
My reason stem from the fact that it's been proven, it's been even published, that diasporans contribute greatly to the economy of Nigeria. And so if we can contribute to the economic situation or progress in Nigeria, what stops us from contributing politically? So we don't have to come to Nigeria. If we can, yes, we will do it, as we are here and some of us are here on the ground. But for those who cannot, because of maybe family situation or jobs and other engagements, we should have the ability to vote even online, cast our votes or ballots, So I'm still hoping that someday Nigeria, whoever the leader is in Nigeria, would be able to give us that right. Or is it the judiciary system or whatever that will decide, or we have it in our constitution, that yes, we contribute to this economy, and so we have to also have a voice in governance by giving us the opportunity to vote wherever we are. Yes.
Despite your involvement, despite your passion, I know for sure that there are some people who sit on the fence concerning this matter in the diaspora. Do we have people like that?
Yes, of course. Everywhere you have people that are motivated internally or externally, and then you have people that are sitting on the fence if I could say that, or maybe lukewarm, because they think, oh, Nigeria. So even if I vote, even if I do this, what is the point? It won't count. But I'm telling them, I'm encouraging them, don't maintain that stance. Come out, support, speak, advocate, because someday we will have it done the way we see it done in other countries. But if we keep quiet, remain silent, then who will speak for us? So we have the opportunity and in a position to encourage us to do the right thing based on what we see happening where we come from or where we live.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Engineer Ubom, what's your perception of people who have the lukewarm attitude towards electing people into offices, electoral positions? What's your perception of them, and what's your message for them?
My perception is that most of these people don't know. If anything you don't know, you take it for granted. You may not even do anything or say anything about it. Then, in order to get them involved, I believe very much in education. We should have voters' education. We should have social enlightenment so that the masses could know their rights, they could know what they have to do so that they can perform their civic responsibility.
Okay.
And this has to start right from when the kids are very young. Sometimes we wait to teach people stuff when they're grown up, and then they're not picking up. But if we start right from the time they're young, take for example in a family, you tell a small child who is maybe 1 year old, 2 years old, you should not take anything which is not yours, you should not steal, you should respect the government, you should vote and do all that. By the time he grows up, he's not going to depart from it. But when you wait, this child grows up without knowing all these basic things he need to do, then they can do it. Education is very, very important.
I would like to add to that too. Apart from just telling them, children learn by copying. They see what adults do. So if at home your children see you go out to vote, and you encourage them, this is my civic duty or responsibility, they will. Like in the US, I vote every year, every time there is an election, even in the local mayor, like a local government election, I vote. So my kids growing up, they see I do that, and my husband does that too. So now when they're of age, they started voting too. They started casting their ballots because they know that they have a voice. Even where we live, my children, they are involved. Even in our local, where I live, we have like a what do you call it? We have organizations locally. So even for you living in that neighborhood, we have a little system of government there governing us. They are involved. They come out, they volunteer. So they're starting from even where you live in your neighborhood, and then it goes to your local government area, or your as we call it, as your district or province. So from there now it goes to the state and to the national and all of that. So when they see the parents do this, and that is why they copy both good and bad. So we have to encourage them to see the good things that we do and copy that. So train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So that's what we do by action, and also training and word of mouth encouragement.
Okay, so according to our guest this morning, voter education should start right from the home. Yes, parents ought to lead by example. Go out, exercise your franchise. By so doing, you are teaching your children to do so when they are of age. Now, you believe in a principle, you believe in one particular person, as a Kwaibom head to the polls. I'm talking about Pastor Moino. Now, why do you have so much conviction that he deserves to sit in the Hilltop Mansion?
Yes, I am very much convinced, and that's why I'm supporting Pastor Omoino, because like you see, there are 4 C's: Mr. Character, Mr. Competence, Mr. Capacity, Mr. Compassion. So when you see him, is a man with character, honesty, a man with courage, a man with integrity, good repute. And so when he talks, he's sincere. From his mind, from his heart, that he will do this, I will do this. And I've followed him. I've been in contact with him since 2015. So I've followed him and I've seen the consistency, stability, even in running his own private business.
In 2015, he wasn't even in governance.
Yes, he wasn't in government, but I happened to be in Nigeria. That was October 2015. And the government had a program. FDIC, Mr. Gabriel Upe was there, Commissioner for Industry, Commerce and Industry. Honorable Enoidem was there at that time. And then it was a combination of from Akikbo. Dr. Elijah Akpan was the chairman of that, is the chairman of Akipok. So it was a program that was coordinated by the three ministries or three sections. So it was a summit, and he was there as the, I think he was the main person, not the moderator, like a keynote speaker. And yes, I was very much impressed about his performance. Even when we finished, people were clamoring. We brought investors, 10 investors from China. So even when he finishes, those investors were like, they wanted his number, they wanted to talk to him. And so from that point, I've been keeping tabs on him, seeing what he does. So I believe in him, and I've seen the progress that is made as a leader. And so I believe so much in him that this is somebody, because he has the ability and capability, is compassionate, he cares about people, he is humble and is genuine. So I know this is somebody that can take care of Akwa Ibom State by taking this Akwa Ibom to the next level. And because I believe also in his Arise agenda. So when I looked at it, and yes, I'm convinced, yeah, this is a man to work with, and this is the man that should occupy the hilltop mansion, because he's going to deliver.
All right, for you are the coordinator, and for you are the contact and mobilization coordinator for Team Umoino Diaspora. What's your conviction?
Besides the character, capacity, compassion which you mentioned, Umoino is an achiever by excellence. Engineer Emmanuel Ubom sitting here is an achiever by excellence. Therefore, I love people who have that nature. Let me give you a quote from Our Excellency Emmanuel Ubom. He says that if you cannot manage a clause, you cannot manage a multinational corporation. Let me repeat. Governor Dr. Emmanuel Ubom says that if you cannot manage a kiosk, you cannot manage a multinational corporation. And that is the truth in every letter of that word. So this is a man who rose from the scratch, who started with nothing, and he built a multi conglomerate. After the state government is the largest employer of labor. Is the largest employer of labor in the state of Akwa Ibom State. And this is a man who looks for peace, a man who wants security. He doesn't want us to return back to the era where we were having kidnapping and politically motivated killings. We were all experiencing all that, and he believes that Akwa Ibom should not go back to that. I think every Akwa Ibomite, with no exception, to support this man. If he could build it from the scratch, then we believe that he can do it. Let me ask you, if you were to interview candidates for employment, and here comes a man who has achieved a lot, he has expertise, he has experience on job creation, on youth engagement, and then you have others who has nothing in their resume, who would you employ? Can you give me an answer?
I have an answer for myself.
Oh, for you.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay. You are a private person, so you may not give us the answer. But for me, it would be the man who has the record of accomplishment, and that man is Pastor Umo Eno.
Okay. So in other words, what you're trying to say is this is a man, Pastor Moeno is a man that has been tried, tested,
Yes.
and proven.
Proven.
Yes.
What else?
That he has the capacity and
what?
that he has the know-how, the experience.
Why would you go and pick somebody else for try and error? So somebody will come in as a learning graph. We don't want somebody to come in and have a learning process.
His achievements are palpable. We can feel them. They're evidence. I mean, royalty conglomerate, and he's been involved in being chair. One of those times in October 28th, I was here in Nigeria, and then we had a group of business community in Akwa Ibom State, and that's not a political organization. Business people, professionals, they came out en masse to endorse him, publicly endorse him, and we've been seeing several endorsements all over Akwa Ibom State. So that means this is a man that has capacity. This is a man that we believe in, that can deliver, that will take Akwa Ibom State to the next level.
Okay.
So
now today is International Women's Day, and your principal has a woman as his running mate. What's your perception of of the duo, of they are coming together? What's your perception? What are your expectations? How do you think Senator Akuniyanyi is going to deliver if given this mandate?
Okay, first and foremost, how do I see it is a welcome development, that it takes a man and a woman. What a man does not see, a woman must see. Okay. What a woman does not see, a man will see. So we have this woman here who is a leader by all capacity, starting as a teacher and a leader, and even in politics, in governance, and a senator. So it's a welcoming development for us to have a woman, because then we also have a woman that will speak on behalf of the women. We are not trying to be gender biased here, but then I'm a woman. So I'm looking at the girl child. I do things to impact the girl child. And so seeing a woman that will occupy that number 2 as number 2 citizen in Akwa Ibom State, and not just an ordinary woman, is a woman with skill, with experience, who is bringing a lot to the table. Okay. So I'm very much happy, and I know with that she's going to also mentor other young women coming up so that they can also step up someday. But I really also applaud her husband, because not all men are very confident when they see a woman who goes out, who knows what she wants, and go for it, and they encourage. And my husband encourages me to do what I want to do, because he knows I'm doing it is for the family, is for humanity, is for the community. So I also applaud Chief Eyarenyi, Engineer Eyarenyi, for giving his wife to Akwa Ibom State, to Nigeria, to save the people.
Okay. Okay, for you, Engineer Ubom, what's your impression on, the duo of Pastor Moeno and Senator Akuniyanyi?
These are two highly intelligent people. Both of them. I have very high regards for them because they're very intelligent. So we're going to have a golden era in Akwa Ibom State.
A golden era.
Golden era. Okay. Performance is going to be such
notch
that incoming future governors may not be able to fit into the shoes of this man. Write that down, because I will come back to this.
Take note of that.
Okay, I will come back to this studio.
Yeah. Okay.
I will come back to this studio.
Please go ahead.
To remind you of what I said today.
Okay.
That it will be difficult. So, for him to pick a lady, I really appreciate that. I like it.
Okay.
There's a group, support group called Patience Umoino. Have you heard of it?
That's right, I have.
Patience Umoino supports
Patient Umoino's movement.
Several groups like that.
Yes. No, this one is specifically to support the woman.
Yeah.
Only very few men are in it. I am one of the few men.
And you are one of the few men.
I'm one of the few men who's a member. Just to show you how much I want the women to succeed. I have many girls, and I encourage them every day that being a woman, you should be an advantage, added advantage, that you need to excel in everything. I talk to them, all of them are doing very well in math and science, because men usually are afraid of that. But I encourage them, you could be the best you can. So far, one of them is getting to be a CEO of her own company.
Okay.
She's already starting to make fashion stuff.
Okay.
He makes this year I'm wearing.
Okay.
She make it and
Beautiful.
take it to the United States.
Beautiful.
And so she's last summer I gave her how much did I give her? I think I gave her about 400,000 naira. She bought stuff, make all this thing, and we took it to the convention in North Carolina. So if I tell you the profit is
she made,
girl made.
Perhaps, and indeed, you are in line with the theme of this year's International Women's Day. It's good to know that you support, the women from your family to excel.
Yes.
Quite a good one there.
That's true.
Now, in case you're just joining us, we're sampling the opinions of some diasporans on where they stand as Akwa Ibom decides come March 11, that's on Saturday. Now, where do you stand in all of this? You could always be part of our program. You could join our sister program, which is Focus AM45 tomorrow, and of course any other program right here on the Ultimate in TV broadcasting, to tell us where you stand before we hit the polls on Saturday. Now, as a parting shot for Akwa Ibom people, what message do you have for them, considering the fact that we're just a few days to Saturday?
Yes, my message to my Akwa Ibom brothers and sisters, Akwa Ibom youth, is that we need to go out and vote. Come March 11th, Saturday, come out and vote. And we have talked a lot about our candidate, Pastor Omoino, and he has promised what he's going to do for the youth, for the women, for the children, education. Free education will continue, and the youth will no longer be job seekers. They will become, from the training skill acquisition, they will become job creators. They will be able to even empower other people and employ other people and excel. And with that, there won't be any vices, any kidnapping, any problems and all of that. We will stay well focused. We'll be empowered. We have the money. We create wealth. And we live and make Akwa Ibom a beautiful place. And so even you, the market woman, I'm asking you to come out and vote. Your vote counts. He has promised to empower the women so that you'll be self-sufficient and self-sustained. So come out and vote. I'm even talking about the men. Exercise your right as a citizen of Akwa Ibom State. Come out and vote for Pastor Moino, because this is the man that has the capacity that will take Akwa Ibom to the next level.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, for you, Engineer Ubom, your parting shot.
Pastor Omoino has what we call a RISE project. The first main agricultural revolution, then industrial revolution, rural area development, security, education. Those are the things comprising of Arise. I want everybody to be aware of that. And then this is a man who has promised that, and if you were to be listening to him at the campaign rallies, when he goes to a particular location, he recognizes the resources of that area, and then promise industry or project that is going to do that will make use of the resources in the area. So it's very specific. In every local government, it was very specific. And this tells you that he's a man who has the ability to do what he says. He's not going to promise you what he cannot deliver. Therefore, when you go on Saturday, you will see PDP, the umbrella. You probably won't see his name. You probably won't see his picture. You're going to see PDP. Anytime you see PDP, use your finger, any one of them, but preferably this one, so that it will not cross the line.
The index finger.
Index finger. And print and vote for Omoino. Make sure it does not cross the line, because once it is on the line, they're going to
reject it.
It will not be counted. Let all votes be counted. And I give you the assurance that this is a man that God is on his side and is going to win. Thank you so much, Akwa Ibom people. We come back here next time and give you more thanks.
Okay, you've heard from my guests this morning on where they stand. I've had with me one woman who has various offices which she leads. So she's the treasurer, Diaspora Directorate. She's the treasurer, Team Umoino Diaspora, and several other offices. Dr. Itanwan James, thank you so very much for coming to, air your position, your stance, as we head to the polls on Saturday.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
All right.
Thank you, Akwa Ibom people, for listening and watching.
Okay, I also want to say thank you to the contact and mobilization coordinator of Team Umoino Diaspora, Engineer Emmanuel Ubom. Thank you so very much for your presence here on Centerpoint AM for 5, even as you aired your opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you too for giving us the opportunity to speak to Akwa Ibom people so that they get enlightened and go out there and vote.
All right. On that note, this is where we draw the curtains on Centerpoint AM 45. Thank you so very much for being part of the program. Happy International Women's Day to every woman watching us right now. We celebrate you. We celebrate your worth. And we pray that you grow gracefully every passing day. Thank you so very much. Now, on behalf of the entire crew of Centerpoint AM45, I want to say thank you once again and do have a lovely day. Good morning.